Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So thanks for making it today. So I know it's quite a rainy day today. So welcome to this program. So today's program is more about how do we measure the project progress. So we have our expert speaker, Jayakumar. So I just leave it to the floor to Jayakumar to introduce himself, okay, and how he has been associated with MPUG. And I do understand some of you might be quite beginners, some of you have your seasoned in terms of using Microsoft Project. So please do ensure you do ask as many questions as possible to make sure this program is quite informative for all of us. So over to you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Very good morning. My full name is Jayakumar Thulasingam. Currently, I'm working with Client Network Solution India Private Limited as a PMO implementation lead, and we are completely stick with the PMO implementations, where the organization does not have a complete project management overview or controlling system. So this is PMO is actually started from last 10 to 15 years back. It's a new trend started now. While the PM is already there, what's it going to PMO does, but the values keep on increasing nowadays. So the one key important for the PMO and the project manager, the MS project is very important tool. Before going to in detail about today's agenda, I'm associated with the MPAC for last 2014. I started my first session at the same place, December 12, 2014. The first day event was not completely talked about tools and tips, nothing, but it's directly went to for conference that is a discussion panel actually speaking. So the first day was very impressive for me because day to day I'm fighting with this kind of implementation in real-time organization. So I finding so many answers for that. So after I came here, I identified that lot of information which I didn't search for a long time. I got a lot of answers from this area. So that's why I'm here to in front of you to present my experience to you. So today's agenda, we are going to look at not in detail about what MS project, which are the options we are going to do. It's not a kind of a lab activity. It is going to tell about in the environment where the project environment, like in your organization or in your project team, they don't have any tool for you. They are still live with the Excel file. They are still work with some other tool to maintain the plan. But you know well, you are working with the MS project for a long time. You are aware about what are the specialties we have in MS project. So we need to eradicate the Excel activity. We need to implement the MS project activity. We can see that how that kind of environment, what kind of feature from MS project helpful for me. So that is the experience I learned. That is the implementation I did in my organization that I want to share with you today. So shall we? Yeah. Before going that, I want to know each of your name and what you are currently doing. Just understanding your names and so start from you.
Hello everyone. My name is Karthik. I completed master's degree. I am searching for a job. Presently, I am searching for a job.
Wish you all the best.
Hello, I'm Suresh Kumar. I'm working for Great Results. I've been associated with the MPG for about 3 years.
I am Raja, finished ME Construction Management, searching job.
Hello, I'm Jayakumar. This is my second session at MPUG actually, and I'm currently pursuing my UG, that is my Bachelor's in Engineering at Asian Engineering College.
Hello, I'm Rajesh. I'm working for Synergy School of Business. I'm a PMO trader and handling this project.
I'm Srikanth, working as a project manager in ITES. This is my third session in PPG.
That's great. So that is in this session we have a basic rule. We need to collaborate. Please, if you have any doubt, please stop me at any time and ask the question as much as possible because I may get a lot of answers from your end also. So it's vice versa. We can share the knowledge between us. And in case of any requirement from anything that lab house, we can share with that. And please ask as much as possible more questions. Okay. So the today agenda we are going to look at what kind of project environment across, it's not applicable for everywhere, but it's any kind of project in your organization or you're going to see because people are from freshers, so we can see that. So this environment may be, what is the challenge as a project manager have? So that challenge we are going to talk about that. Then how to the same practice we do, what is the task creation in MS project, how to set the dependencies, and how to, what to do in the before baseline. What is the, this is one of the key stuff which already available in MS project, but we are not naming it in this way. The expected percentage completion, we are arriving there for this, especially this kind of environment. So then we are going to set baseline, then we do actual percentage completion, and every time we getting the information from these projects and who are working on the project, we are just getting the inputs and updating it. Then we see the custom filter, because the custom filters especially for to view only the task. We have a plan for around 3,000, 4,000 lines in a single plan. We don't want to go for each summary, we don't want to, so we special customer filter, we created here, we can see that way. So then we'll have a break and we'll have a lab activities and we have a question session also. But you can stop me at any time if you have any questions. So look at the first project environment. Okay, I'm a PM. Day to day I need to work with a different, I need to manage the project stakeholder, I need to gather the requirements, I need to look at the expectation from my management, and every week or every day I need to give a status of my project. So I need information for that. So one is the primary document or primary is my project plan. So what is the project plan? Maybe it's a scheduled plan that we are using with MS project, but in many environment the project planner does not have a tool with them. So they are using simply the Excel file, or they are using any other tool which is available in the market or which is available in their organization. So the challenge is he has to give that, he is not able to integrate a project management tool in place to track the project progress. For example, if you think about your project is running on different location, for example one maybe within India or in some other countries, people are working at different diversity. So we need to get that project progress. You are the project manager, you are virtually managing, or in, within house, you are managing some projects. But how we are going to integrate all the stuff into one place? So that challenge he does not have that. So that is one of the key challenges. The second part is project team using the Excel. You are maintaining on Excel, the same Excel you can share with the project team, they are updating, there are a lot of manual errors happening, the chances would be there. Even though we have secured in a secure place, common shared folder or SVN folder, whatever folder we are using it, but still there are a lot of challenges by using Excel for planning purpose. So that is one of the key challenges here. And inaccurate reporting. So based on the data, how I'm going to give the status of the project. So I don't have appropriate data with me. So it's all inaccurate data. When I present it to my senior management or anyone, I'm saying that the data is not correct, this is not up to date, so far we are not to do this. So these are challenges because of I'm using Excel. Even though we do a lot of macro, we do a lot of formula, but it is not up to the mark. In practically, it's not suitable my environment. So that's why we suggest for MS project. Another one more key challenge is we are getting the no actual effort and duration from the project resources. We assign the task to the projects, project members who are working on that, but we are not, when we get the input from them, they're asking that, no, I've just completed 50%, 20%, but they are not quantifying it. They are not able to quantify it, even though they are quantifying that, but it is keep on, there are a lot of inaccuracy will be there. So for this kind of environment, so what I thought is initially, so to help the MS project, to get the help from the MS project, so I created a special field from there, that's the expected percentage completion. We'll see that after this basic setup of how to create the task creation set dependencies. So here is we are going to create the task creation. Normally we do in the MS project, but we have specific some best practices into place, project summary, major phases, and major and minor activities, and task and milestone. So these are the stuff definitely should be available in a project. Instead of putting one line item, say that this is the task I'm going to do. We'll see that what are the stuff we did. We'll get in the next slide. So this is already generated file.
Are you sharing your plan?
Yeah, just specific on the slide, we need to. So we need a project name. What is the project name we have? It's a project summary. And we have a major phases. What are the phases? Maybe design, whatever phases according to our project life cycle or according to our project we are working. So you need to the project phases into that. Then we are creating the major activity and minor activity, and then only we are going to make the task. That's why we call it as a verb. Instead of saying that only the some rough details, you just put in the precise, very short and easily to understand from everybody in your project stakeholder, because we are sharing the plan, your copy of the plan or copy the PDF to share it with the stakeholder to understand what currently, which task I'm currently working on it. The important stuff is the milestone. We need to say open milestone and closing milestone on every project phases. We'll see how we have created in our plan. Okay. So the project 3 is my project summary task. You know how to create a summary task in our open MS project, right? So we look at that also. Here we can go create a format, so we can see project summary task. This is all talk about, this is our project name. So we need to go to format and we need to create and click the project, enable the project summary task for that. So then we have the same fashion. So the same way we have created some phases into the high level requirements definition. That is my project. So the project name may be the project name created here. Within that I have major tasks. So these are the major phases. So I have created one authorization to proceed, that is the opening milestone. That will be helpful for me to when I setting the predecessor for that. Instead of, just assume that instead of that directly creating a task without I'm setting an open milestone, it will be when I keep on changing my in physically this way we can assign it to project some days, but in reality the real project starts in a different day. So that time we need to again set the days again to that. So to avoid that we can set that in the open predecessor into that. There are some other reasons also there, but we will look in detail. So this is the way we created the plan. This is the summary. This is the major summary. So this is the task level, this is the my milestone. If you look at that, if you look at this page, we can see that what is the opening milestone. I'm mentioning the begins, I'm mentioning the completed. So why we created this? There are some reason behind that. So when we create the using the beginning and ending milestone for your project phases and major activities and minor activities, or children have major activities. There are some independent tasks also will be there. We need to consider that also. Into that using beginning and milestone make it easier to set up your initial dependencies. Instead of giving the dependency directly to the task, you can set that dependency from your opening milestone. And level of your schedule. When you are leveling the schedule, so we already talked about the leveling stuff, but I'm not going to talk about the leveling here, but that will be helpful for you to setting a milestone within the milestone. For example, beginning milestone and closing milestone. When you do the leveling, it will happen only within the opening milestone and beginning milestone within the phase of the task. So based on that, you are giving the predecessor successor to that particular task. And it will be helpful for you manage and controlling the schedule once the project begins. Actually speaking, when I started setting the begins for the project, as per the plan, as per the baseline, it's some date. But in reality, it started a delay date. They started delay. or they started in advance. So this kind of in real time scenario will happen. So this is the way we need to create a structure in our MS project to look and feel and have to look and see that how the effectively we can use that stuff.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Maybe since you have experienced these steps before, how many milestones should we have in a project plan?
That's up to your project.
But do you have any kind of thumb rule?
No, we don't have any thumb rule as per my experience.
Mm.
Because when I share this file, the same Excel file, same MS project, it may interconnected with the same other plan also.
Mm.
So when you look at the different picture, so for example, you are developing one component, he is developing a different component, and it's finally it has to integrate that. That's why this kind of milestone will helpful to monitor the overall which are the milestone are highly entire program has that.
Mm.
So I from my understanding there is no restriction to create the multiple milestone.
Okay, I appreciate that. No, it depends on the size of the project.
Correct.
My next question was, everyone follows a different way of identifying milestones.
Correct.
So how do you identify milestones in a project? I know at the every phase we should have one for entry, one for exit. But how is it only for entry and exit we have milestones, or is there any kind of rule that we can follow that this is how we can identify milestones in a project?
Actually, for that we have made the basic rule is that every phase should have the opening milestone and the closing milestone. Apart from that, within the major activities, you can maintain the closing milestone. Because within the major activity we have set up tasks, but we are not getting the real-time sign-off from the customer. So those kind of scenarios, we are using the milestone effectively. I think so. It's an answer for
It
it.
has been. Okay, maybe the others can pitch in, okay, because it should not be that we
Yeah, this is not
do
only
the talking.
communication, please.
Okay.
Because I'm sharing my experience. Maybe it's right,
See,
maybe it's not.
predominantly everybody who's attending here might know how to create a milestone. But the challenge is when to create it and when not to create it. Okay, so please do participate. Okay. We just wanted to hear each one of your experiences. Okay, please.
So, are you able to read that? Or it's very small.
It's small, right? So I'll just try to adjust the resolution. Just give me a second. This is better? Another plan. This is good. Right?
Okay. Whatever reflected in blue is formatted one. It's not. I have some default setup in my MS project. That's why it's showing on blue. So if you want to create that blue same kind of stuff in your project, you can do it in. So you just create a task, my opening, milestone, and I have one major activity here. So I have created a phrase here, and I have again one more phrase opening milestone. Here I have started my surface activity, that is my major activity. Again, the major activity also have opening milestone. Okay. Now I am creating a task, or I need to create a sub-level task within the major activity. So I am creating some plan. So what is my activity I am going to talk here? Task need to do the same practice for this one. Major activity, milestone, opening milestone. So you know that what is the intent, out and result, all this stuff. Right? So if you look at that one single. So this is my project summary. This is one of the phase. My next level is. Sorry, this is also opening milestone. So I created under project summary, I created phase, and I created one major activity. Before the major activity, I created my opening milestone for phase. And the next level I did for major activity, I also created some opening milestone. Then I created task. Then I created for this is a structure. It is helpful for to create to prepare. For example, this is the opening milestone. I'm saying that this is a project has to start on as on date, but it's not happening in real time. So these are the activities we are doing before the baseline plan. So this is the initial setup we are doing in the plans. So now we are going to look at the producer success for that. So before that, we need to set the date, project begins date. So where we go and say project information. So we need to set and you need to ensure that which calendar you want to use for your project, because in your project the resource may have a different location, the different timing also, different time zone will be there. So, but we have one project calendar. We need to set in there. That is our project calendar. We can set from here. Default we have a standard, but based on your location, which location you want to set, you can set it based on that. Any questions so far in this exercise? So already you are familiar with this exercise, but I don't know how many of you are creating the opening milestone, closing milestone in your project. So it is necessary. So any question in this? You may go for from my
I think we
experience.
are good. We can proceed.
So we can start with the setting the predecessor successor. So I'm telling to my project that I'm going to start on sometime my project start on the same date, but my major activity start on some other date. So till the time if without this activity, so without this major or minor milestone will not be there. So we need to directly link with the project task. So that's why we can avoid such a situation. So we are creating the milestone in this. That is also one of the benefit here. So this task may start from my 7SS. You got why I'm setting the 7SS here? Because I have some major activity. In major activity, I have a small list level activity. We are creating a plan. So that task has to start. Then only after the starting the major activity begins, parallelly this task also will start. So I'm changing it now.
Yeah, I have a question. Then it should be row number 7 should have 5 SS. Right?
Sorry, 7SS. Sorry. Yeah, 7SS.
No, row number 7 should have 5 SS. That's what I mean. Only when
So
row
we
number.
can give it here also, right? 5SS.
It will be a row. See.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
remove
sorry.
that.
a little bit. I want to try to say something. Because my project start date is on 6/27, but this task will start later after that 2-3 days.
Hmm.
So I can phase, when my phases start at 3 start plus 10 days.
Ah, okay.
Got it?
Okay. Okay, but my thought was, what I was expecting was after row 3,
Hmm.
you would start row number 5 after 10 days.
Yeah, now also it's reflecting the same.
But
Instead of giving directly put into milestone, I'm giving to the directly into the task. This is my opening milestone for this particular phase.
see, the point that I'm trying to drive here is, you're saying your task 1 will start 10 days after your project starts, correct?
Correct.
Okay, in other words, let's say tomorrow instead of task 1,
Hmm.
task 4 comes first.
Task 4.
For any reason. Right now, let's not look at task 1, 3 and 4.
Okay.
Right now, task 1 is the first activity, which is
Hmm.
starting this project, and it will start after 10 days.
Hmm.
Now, let's say task 4 would be the first activity due to some change in plan.
Hmm.
So, you need to correct 3 SS plus 10 days, and you need to move that to task 4 as 3 SS plus 10 days. So, my purpose was, when you have dependencies on milestones, okay, so when the milestone is getting advanced or delayed later,
Hmm.
all the other activities that are dependent on the milestone will also have the impact.
Correct.
Okay, so but here if you look at it, it just looks for me the other way,
Hmm.
because you are directly connected row number 3 to row number 7. Okay, so rather, I just wanted a, maybe you can make the changes what I was expecting,
Okay.
so that you can see how the outcome is. Okay, so just remove 3 SS plus 10 days. Row number 7,
Okay.
3 SS, just remove that.
You want to remove that?
Just erase it, just delete, backspace. Just remove the entire predecessor. So in 7 SS, replace 7 SS by 3.
Okay.
3 FS plus 10 days. Okay, and row number 7,
Okay. You can say the
dependent to
five.
5.
Okay. So.
No, just 5, that's okay. 5 or 5 SS, okay, whatever you call it.
Okay. In case task 3 start before the task 1,
Hmm.
so we can go with that also, right?
Yeah, see, I was just trying to give two
No,
different.
the thing is, end of the day, we need to look at what is the task start date, what is the
Hmm.
task end date. That is the primary. So we need to set that predecessor based on the dates the project team is giving to you, or you are creating a project for your project. So you need to set the based on with your task start date and end date. So that's the way we created that, because that is the main purpose we are creating a plan in the MS project. People are using that Excel, so they're saying that the same features available, why I need to use that. So this is the way
So
I
in
need to.
your situation, it is more the task, not the
Yeah,
milestone.
not the milestone, but the milestone is also related to measure the progress. How these are the milestone only I'm going to show to my client. I'm not showing the entire task to them. So that's why I'm creating the milestone alone to them.
Hmm.
Further, any doubt?
Yeah, I have come across this situation. Maybe I think others would have seen project plans, would have seen this. This is the correct approach, right? So we should have milestones within each phase, and we should set dependencies. I don't know how people think about a different approach. Like they bundle all the milestones together. They bundle all the milestones of a project in a separate phase. They have cross dependencies across. I hope you're able to visualize what I'm saying. If you have 10 milestones across 10 phases, the right approach is in each phase you should have one milestone. But since they want to present it to customer easily, they are having all 10 milestones grouped together. And they are having up and down dependencies.
Correct.
That will be the level 1 they will.
They will have it as level 1. Okay, I don't know how
How
the
they create
process.
like internal dependencies or internal milestone or external milestone in the top. Then based on that, they need
But
to create again
See,
need
the
to change.
purpose is when we have filters and highlight
Correct,
and
correct.
group in project, why should we complicate
Complicate
it that way? I just want to do. If you are doing it, please change, okay? Because it's
Yeah,
a very
actually
big struggle
speaking, I did
to
the same
believe
way.
that plan.
Yeah, correct. Actually speaking, I did the same way. Before exploring this stuff because some of the notion I predefinedly I believe that. Okay, after that I created some experiment in this. I saw some filters, I saw some tables, so it is available. So then I changed the way of working to make sure this way. So I think so. This supported me. I hope so. It will
This
be-
is the correct approach. This is the right approach.
So we are setting the dates. So I'm saying that 10 days it's going to work, and again it's after completing or it's may parallelly started, or this one has started after 8. So the same fashion we need to create your. So for your ending milestone should have. Normally I do the predecessor this way. I don't leave that, but people are saying we can create a single effort for the one task, but I don't do that. Normally I give how many tasks is there, everything I put into. Is there any other shortcut to?
Can you, maybe can you,
Yeah.
you can do it first so we can see how
Yeah, I say
you are
that
doing it.
I do this way. Actually, 8 effort. How many tasks are previous tasks are? I put everything into that.
Just only the immediate predecessor or all predecessors?
All predecessor.
Okay, I just want to listen to others. So,
Is this approach is fine or any?
forget the part FF, but he is trying to, if you closely observe, so 7, 8, 9, right, 7 and 8, so if you look at 9, 9 is dependent on 8, okay, but still he is saying 10 is 7, 8, 9, they are dependent. So his question is simple, should the task predecessor be only its immediate predecessor, or
Should have it all.
No.
that's what,
For instead of putting this way, I shall put it only in 9 effort.
9 and 7 I suppose, because even 7
Yes,
is
9
timing.
effort or 7 effort.
So
because
should
the
it be
latest,
7 comma
the
9?
latest state is 726. So shall I put 9?
So you are having two options.
Ah.
Should I say 7 comma 9 or should I say 7, 8, 9? Because 9 is dependent on 8. Okay, so that's what his question is. So right now this is the approach you follow.
Yeah, this approach I follow because why I'm telling, unless I will not complete this task, I cannot claim this milestone as 100%.
Sir, what is your view, sir?
So why complicate having
But why it's complicated? Justify?
Anyway, it's very easy method at the last dependency part only. So there's like as you said, 7 and 9 is more than sufficient. Why? It's already taken care by the 9. Already.
So he's having a valid point.
Correct.
8 is already considering, 7 is 8, 9 is already considering 8. So why to say 7 comma 8 comma 9? So you might always say tomorrow if we break the link between 8 comma 9, what happens? That is always maybe only,
Maybe.
but we can't be sure.
But what will happen, right? I'm putting that way. Suddenly my customer says, this is not my priority. The
Yeah.
task 1 is, task 1 and task 3 is not my priority. You do first the task 4, then we'll see the task and 3. Task 1 and 3.
See Jayakumar, I think those changes will happen across the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So,
So what I would recommend is, whenever you change dependencies, review the plan again. Review the plan again. We can't take any risk. Whenever there is a change in dependencies, which means that priorities have changed.
No, for that case, what I will do, if you want to change the task started end date, if it is beyond your project finish date, go for the rebaseline or change the dependent what to do. So within the project finish date, I won't do anything. I'll say customer, that's your priority only change. I won't do any baseline in that. Simple. That is my answer to the customer. Anyone can come to that. Because
That's a good response.
Correct.
The point I'm trying to re-emphasize here is, we can't predict what happens tomorrow.
correct.
Okay, even if it happens, we should review the plan again. Okay.
Because I'm showing the simple plan here. If you open the plan, there are 2,000 lines or 1,000 lines will be there. So we cannot do that same for every time they change the priority. We don't. So what they are thinking normally, we can do it everything in Excel, but why it's not complicated? We need to complicate with MS project. They say that it's not seasonal one, we cannot do that. It is seasonal one, but we can not understand the concept. That's why we are facing the issues.
Okay, so if you look at from an audience perspective, 7, 9 is more preferred than 7, 8, 9. Okay, because 7, 8, 9 might look as if you are trying to overburden the dependencies, where 9 is already dependent on 8. Okay.
So this is the way I'm creating almost. some comma, method, you are recording. So we need to start.
Yeah, 7, 9. Yeah.
So, okay. The same fashion we just creating a multiple major activities within the phase. We are creating that. So we need to go for baseline. So you know how to do the baseline, right? So what is the step we need to do for the baseline? Directly we can go do the baseline. So what I do normally before baseline is I just discuss with the customer, this is the fine, or you want to do any other activities within the frame. So everything accepted by all the stakeholders. What I will do, I take one copy of this one for my I take one more copy. Okay, so now in this copy, I will make it as a baseline. So we can go and do baseline.
You have baseline fields in the top.
Yeah. Sorry. There are so many those. Okay, so I'm looking at that baseline finish now. So I have one more copy I saved as a expert percentage completion. One more copy for actual percentage completion from the customer, from the stakeholders. Because there is no single mechanism available in the project environment or project. They are saying that, boss, I completed only 15%. He's from a different country. One guy is from different country. He said that, okay, different time zone. He cannot quantify that how much I have completed. I'm only sticking with the dates of the project. I'm not worried about here how much effort they are spending for that, how much effort, how many days are taking, how many resources are they working there. So only I'm concerned about the task completion. Clear? Any question why I'm not including the resource here?
Don't need to track it.
Correct? Because I'm not worried about the project, how many project resources are working on the project. That is a different time zone, different countries working on that. That's up to that. Within the organization, they do something. But for my purpose, I'm managing different vendor. So all the vendors are working for me. I don't worry about how many resources are going to work for them. So for the purpose, I need to track only resource. But that is different story. You need to maintain how much budget we are giving to them, invoicing. That's a different story. But for the scheduling purpose, I'm doing that directly to stick with the dates, whether it's happened or not. So what I do for my purpose, I have created one more sheet for expert percentage completion. Completion. So, this file does not have a baseline version. Agree? This is saved as a one master copy with me. for future purpose in case of any changes in the baseline copy or anything, so saved as a backup copy. So I'm going to generate the expected percentage completion out of that. So how we do normally? Any idea? Have you gone through this? So okay, my project started on 6/27, going to complete on 8/9. I'm looking at on some July 1st or July 2nd. I need to submit the report to all the stakeholders. You're supposed to complete this much of activity, but you are not. How much you have completed? I'm getting from the project stakeholders. So how am I going to generate the expected percentage completion from this file? Status? How any? Okay, I need to. Okay. Project status. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So I need to go July 1st. This feature is very helpful for me to generate how much percentage I supposed to complete based on my project plan. I'm sticking with my project start date, end date. There is no other way. I'm not thinking any other stuff in that. So I'm generating from here.
So, yeah, I have a question. You have something to say? With me?
No.
Wait. Yeah. See this update project uses only a forecast to calculate the percentage complete. But from a customer's point of view, you see the baseline. So this percentage complete is not with respect to the baseline. Let me give you a small example. Let's say that the first milestone started 1 week late. All other activities and milestones are also getting delayed. So my forecast and my baseline, there is a variance. I hope all of you could visualize what I'm trying to do. Right? So this project needs to start on 27th of this month. Right? So let's say that the first few activities started 2 weeks later. So this is having a cascading impact across your project. Okay, now let's go back to the update project command. So you say status date is end of August. Example.
Yeah.
So you say make it as 0 or 100. So 0 to 0 -100. So it is going to look at your forecast and say that on these activities you should be 70, 50 something. So that is more only with respect to your forecast. So you're already slipping by 2 weeks.
Correct.
So that is no way considered here. So it is trying to look at only your forecast and saying that you should have been 50% complete on this activity.
Correct.
But with respect to baseline, you should have been 80% complete because the slippage is already 2 weeks.
Correct. In actual file.
So what do you do? So I have not completed. So what do you do to ensure that the percentage or the expected percentage complete is with respect to your baseline and not with respect to your forecast?
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. I need to take a copy of the file. First, I need to baseline. Then I need to generate the percentage of completion here, right?
But
So after baseline.
But still. Okay. Yeah. Now you made that valid point.
Correct.
Which means you have 2 copies of this file.
Correct.
In one file you are going to record your actuals.
Record another
Another
file is
file
for only
baseline.
for the generating the expected percentage completion.
Then it makes sense.
That's why I'm
Then
doing
it
this
makes
way.
sense. Good.
Clear? Any doubt? Because why I'm creating the separate file for only generating expected percentage, right? There are many changes that are coming in real file. But I'm making this file is a generally accepted by the stakeholder initial stage. I keep this as my baseline as a file itself. I'm not making a special baseline separate thing because boss, this is the agreement. So this is the stuff you need to complete as on day. What's the catch up plan, whatever you need to do there.
Yeah, I have another follow-up question. So you baseline it. So the moment the plan is approved, you take 2 copies, one for estimated, one for really action date. So the updated version is where you generate reports.
Correct.
Okay. So let's say 2 months later, there is a scope change.
Correct.
So naturally you will incorporate that scope change in your recent version.
No, will need to again whatever I have completed the same version I'm going to rework again. Because when the scope changes, there are many what is that, communication has to go and I need to rebaseline again, so many stuff will be there. So by that time, I will do the changes in my expected percentage completion file, adding the scope, and do the one more copy of the baseline of 2 copy, which is I generally in the actual percentage, 1 more copy. That when I add the scope, maybe extend the duration or they will reduce the existing scope, anything can happen. So that again I do the complete rework of activity, what I did in the previous file. So the same stuff I will do it again in the new file.
New file, okay.
Yeah, correct.
So you will use this file to record those new
Correct.
changes. So, but you will be losing your actuals, no? Actuals will not be part of this.
You know, already we have that old file.
But that does not
access.
have the new baseline.
No, does not have a new baseline. Again, I will do the rebaseline of this file, take 1 more copy, save it as an actual 2, and save it as a new baseline file again.
Okay.
So I will do the same copy, what are the activities I repeated, the same do the
So
same.
you do this twice.
Twice. In case of any changes in the scope.
So how many changes have you received?
So that's a separate file and this is a separate file. When you update the
But
scope
I-
here, the actuals in that file might be different, right?
I'm not
At a certain point of time, the actual, say for example after 2 months, the scope has been changed. I mean,
Okay.
you will update it here. And will you copy this again to that base?
No, I'm not copying that.
You-
What I'll do, I add the scope and save it as again as an actual percentage completion for 1 more file. And again, I'll just go through my previous file, what are the actions happened there, then again update it in my current file, then I'll do. Or what I'll do, just open the existing actual file and do the amendments into the existing file itself and do and continue updating the actual percentage here itself.
See, he's doing it twice, Suresh.
That's it.
Isn't that much in React activity is needed actually, then you are
See,
trying
his
to-
requirement is that way.
Correct.
See, his requirement is he would be questioned in terms of, as on that date, what is the expected percentage completed? See, the problem with this update project command is, it always looks at only your forecast to calculate the percentage completed. Okay, number 1. And the percentage complete, what you are just right now showing on your screen, is not actually expected percentage complete. That field was designed to store actual percentage complete, not expected. Okay, so he is trying to tweak project by having 2 different copies to answer that queries.
But we got one more way to customize that. We can use the formula
Formula
here
use.
in one file itself. Based on my baseline date, we can create that expected percentage completion by creating a
Formula.
custom field. I'm still finding the formula, but I identified that, but I couldn't implement it here because there are a lot of people are working on the same plan. One guy is sitting in a different location. I'm just forwarding to that guy does not have a visibility of seeing what I created here. He's using the different versions. So those kind of challenges will be there. So we
But
are.
I was just wondering how that's a challenge because it's a formula, no? So you
Yeah,
cannot.
the formula, but I'm just sharing only the formula content to him to implement in his project instead of doing formula itself and then sharing to him.
Complex.
That's very complex. Okay, you are clear so far? So this is the way I'm generating it, and I'll go for another file. It is,
This problem can be minimized if we bring a scheduled percentage complete.
I don't know why they are not thinking about it, but
what's it?
We
the
need to
question
have a
is,
right
this
now.
should be a feature.
Yeah, I wrote the same stuff in the MPAG chapter. Larry replied to that. It is a very good, simple one. It's very effective. We can think for the future. He will reply to that way. And few people are posting some formulas also. So I asked them to help. Is there any way to customize this one easy way instead of making the multiple file and doing the same different kind of.
See, from a long-term standpoint, that will be difficult.
difficult.
See,
So-
you have experience.
That's a very
So
key challenge.
everybody will come to him. So he's on high demand in his company. But let's say if you need to share your work to someone else, or if you want another person to help you out, so it is a bit tricky for him to understand how things work.
Correct.
Unless he knows how baseline and how percentage complete works, I don't think he should be able to do it.
So we are keep on maintaining the multiple files on every month because we look at the file every month. I need to review the vendors. So every time I need to generate the plan and to So this is a real time scenario and this is
So you have these challenges. I think everybody here do accept this as a challenging project, but I'm just trying to compare when they have done this in Excel. Okay, when they have done this in Excel, now they are using it in project. So how much percentage of time is saved on a weekly or monthly basis by moving to project?
No, the time saving is that the review was very effective now. Earlier days they are saying that I completed everything. I suppose there is no deviation between the what is expected and what is actual here. The earlier Excel it says only I completed, but how much I supposed to complete based on the data they can say that, but there is no confidence level from the stakeholder this how much have they complete or not. So after putting this one, we can put the site formula that was you have complete this much. This is the stuff you need to do.
You can take this to the next level.
Correct.
If you are using project.
Because this is a crawling stage. I 100% agree this is a crawling stage for the entire organization because I cannot explain to all the good feature about the MS product. People will say that boss, I cannot do this for you, but you can implement some other people use it. So simply they will put on my head only. So this is my actual percentage. So I'm going to say insert percentage complete here. I'm going to set the date same for 28th July. Okay. So when I asked this customer, he said that I done only 60% and 70%. He's supposed to complete 100% here. So based on the percentage completion, I can say this is my actual percentage completion. And one more thing we added here, but I'm not added to my file. We added the actual work also. Not actual work. How much in my previous baseline file, I'm saying that this much of quantum of work they are going to complete. But they are measuring in a different way. The story point they are saying, they are developing stuff, they are saying that this much of story point I'm going to complete. Story point nothing but, they are measuring the software engineering purpose, they are using some measuring methodology. Story point, agile methodology, waterfall they do, but they are measuring the task based on the story point. We have some thumb rule that any story point is converted to some hours. So that hours we are updating here. So we are using the some part of BCWP, BCWSLs also we are using it. So if you look at that expected percentage as on date, this much of percentage completion, as well as I'm looking at how much of percentage of story point they need to complete. So we using the EVM concept also into that. So I'm not incorporated here. If you want, we can do that. So we'll see the next session in that also. So this is the way I got 30% as of completed. I can compare now how much the actual percentage completed, how much I supposed to complete my expected percentage based on this status date. So any other questions from here? So any other solution for this? So to arrive at BCWP or BCWS, we used to do for adding the resources into respective tasks and assigning the dollar value as one.
So maybe for the benefit of everyone, maybe others may not know that. Can you please explain what that is?
Oh, okay.
Okay, please. What about this? What do you need? What do you need?
My expected percentage complete.
So you have here.
Second one.
So, before I'm baselining it, I'm identifying that I'm asking the people how much effort required for this particular project. Okay. Okay, he said that for 10 days I'm going to spend for 80 hours. Maybe in the language, this much of story point. Maybe one story point may have 10 hours, 15 hours based on the organization they're changing it, based on the size of the project may be changing. Okay. Then we have again ITES, 90 hours, 100 hours. Okay. So I dates are remaining same. Okay. So this is the stuff so far we discussed. So we gave the project information, we set the calendar, we set the start date, and we said that what is the currency. This is the session we are going to talk about now. So why we are setting the dollar value for against the each resource wise. So to see that BCWS and BCWP, that is the EVM concept, we'll see that. Then we have a resource information. In my scenario, there is not much requirement for the resources, but I put it as a single resources or vendor name into that space. Instead of giving the each resource wise, I'm giving the one resource name into that. Let's see. So I'll take again one more copy as I expect a percentage. I'm repeating again the same exercise. Okay, this time. If I look at that, my R1 have to say that R3, R4. I would like to give the dollar value here. Next time, there is another way to do that. You can go for the options. Instead of giving each and every resource, you can go directly here. I'm setting the decimal digits as 1 and the placement is 1, symbol is dollar. Okay. Instead of giving the each and every resource, which I have around the 100, 200 resources, I don't want to go bigger, so I can directly give to this product options. Now I'm going to baseline again. So this is my overall effort I'm going to expect from this project to complete 390 hours. Based on this, within this time frame, they need to complete one. So I take copy. In this file, I am creating creating a baseline. This is my actual file. I have one more file. My expected percentage. So as on date, how much I am supposed to complete from this file? So I have 390 hours. I supposed to complete 70%. So if I look at that, my table here. See, baseline cost work performed, baseline cost work scheduled. So as on date, as on 28, I supposed to complete 290 hours. That is my expected percentage completion says that I am supposed to complete 70% and I am supposed to complete 290. Other than my plan also 290. But in reality, when I check the same file, when I check with the stakeholder, he said that only I did 50%. Only I did 30%. Earlier it was 70% expected. Now it is the value has to reduce. But he says that by this time I supposed to complete the 290 story point or 290 hours, but only I did 204 activities completed. I'm also measuring the percentage wise. I'm also measuring the quantity of work what they did. So this is the way these features are helpful for me in my projects. So it will helpful in this way. Any query in this way? Because we are not measuring, we are not using any budget amount or any dollar values here, but measuring the project physical completion.
So you're quantifying it by a cost.
Any suggestion or any alternate way to do this?
Yeah, good.
Okay.
So maybe this is a question to Putra. So when you have been working with people who are using the project, did you get any specific queries on cost part of it or something like what he's talking about?
So most people are going only with schedule. They
Only
don't,
for schedule.
the resources they are going with contract basis. So they don't work with
Cost,
cost.
EVM cost.
But I would like to share one more stuff here. But we are trying to map the cost factor also in schedule. Based on the resources, I know this much of resources going to work on this project, different location, different values, as we have some format in using the different cost value for different time frame for each resources, we are using it. So the same approach, but instead of creating a task, we creating a task, but put it against the resource name, set the date, and the same procedure we do for this much of amount will be future I required if we go this way. So that for mechanism purpose we are using the MS project. So
Okay.
that is a piloting, but I will give that later once it's successfully implemented.
Okay, thank you.
In MS project they are not using, but in Prime of late they are tracking resources also. And recently we came to know that projects which are exceeding 30 crores, they are supposed to use CAPM solution and resource implementation should also be.
It's a mandate.
So people will start using
Risk is
this.
high.
Okay, so we saw that the future, right? What is the decimal values or dollar values effectively using for your EVM concepts and the resource information we added. And we also added the resource calendar, but it's not updated here. When you are updating project, you can get the information for the resource vacation and everything you can import it here. Then this already we discussed, the dependencies, how to set the dependencies. And with this also we discussed before set the baseline, we take one more copy and enter the expected percentage completion. So this is the stuff we already discussed. So actually the percentage completion after you are getting the inputs from your stakeholders or project members. Now we look at the custom filter. So why we need a custom filter? It's just we have only 2 or 3 tasks here. But if you think about that, we have around 2,000 or 5,000 tasks in a single plan. But best practice says that we don't want to maintain such a big file in a single file. But in reality we are using a lot of tasks in the single plan itself. So when I go to update the percentage completion, I find it difficult to go on each and every milestone, each and go on every summary wise. So I want to look at only the task wise. So how we can do this? So we have one filter here created. So assume that I'm just removing here. Okay. Go to the view menu. You can go ahead. Look at the. I have created already, but I'll tell you how to create this one. Task only. So I can see only the task. So these are the features will be helpful for me. Instead of going and look at every summary, I can directly update it here. We have only 5 tasks, 10, 12, 14 tasks here. Just assume that we have around 3,000 or 4,000 tasks. So this filter will be helpful for us to look at only tasks. So how we can do in the task, we can go and look at the daily, what are the stuff I did. See. In filter, field name I am just removing does not equal to yes, and again the milestone does not equal to yes. So I am only looking at task. Clear? The same way I created for milestone. So if I want to look at only milestone, I can do the filter. That I can copy paste into mail and send to all of the stakeholders. But manually we need to update the percentage for milestone. It's not automated. Know the point. That's why I'm creating a separate milestone for each and every phases wise. Because one phase of activity done by different stakeholders, other phase of activity done by different stakeholders. So we need to manually update the percentage for all milestones.
Okay, this is a very good approach because when you are reviewing a very large plan,
Correct.
doing it manually is quite tough. So when you create these filters, it's quite easy for even your planners to apply this filter for.
Correct. Honestly speaking, I just learned this concept from MPEG only. After this
I see the benefit coming. I see that now because otherwise it's quite difficult to fix. Right? So looking at a large plan and reviewing it one by one, and this is quite easy. You can create your own conditions that you want and test it out. Right?
And easy also when you just want to send a mail to your respective stakeholder. Okay, just create the filter and copy paste this stuff to send through mail. Plus you are done or not, please tell me. That's so instead of going to entire plan, copy paste into Excel and doing filter again, so it is a double work. So this is a very helpful for me. So any doubt? I think so. Almost I'm done. So this is already discussed. So normally, which we discussed, right? I'm giving some sample data here. So this is my expected percentage trend, but I'm not created an MS project. I'm using for Excel for this purpose to generate the Excel. But I don't know what other reports are available. We'll be able to create from MS project. I need to explore again. So if you have any thoughts on that, we can see that also.
It is there?
Yeah, it is there.
So I hope you created these reports to visual dashboard.
No, the key challenges here, I have a different file for expected percentage and actual percentage have a different file. That's why I need to create the custom field for the.
Different MS project you want.
Yeah, I'm using it, that's why. Within the report, I cannot merge that project expected percentage and this project actual percentage in a report.
Oh, the expected and the
Correct.
So how do you do it now?
Generally I need only summary. I don't go in depth of that. So I take two files, I refer the summary file, then copy paste in the Excel and generate the file. For overall review purpose is fine, but if you look at the phase-wise activity, that's a difficult. You need to go and filter it each and every line item. So I'm also looking at that to create the custom field within the, instead of making the two file, creating one file, we can create the custom field and look at the, based on the baseline finish date, we can generate the expected percentage completion. Instead of maintaining the new file, we can go with the baseline finish date, create the custom field, put the formula over there. So this is the trend we say that this much of percentage is always have a deviations. So it says about how much the expected work completed based on our story point, based on our effort. But if this is the overall plan, which I am baseline one, that is what? Baseline work. This is the number of baseline work, this is a BCWS, this is a BCWP. Any doubt?
Each and every time when initial baseline assessment, you are refining the estimate or whatever changes. Isn't your requirement on how many people are maybe Sai also or Suresh also can answer. How many places where they expected, okay, what I'm saying is one is refined, they still wanted, they know that initially a year back or 3 months back, this was the budget, but now scope is changed. Still they wanted to have track it or earlier or not?
Yeah, we can make it, right? Because we have
I'm
baseline.
asking that we can do it, but how many clients are wanted? They know that is okay. So much of dollar, no 20%.
From my experience, they are most of the people look at the what is the recent baseline. They are not forget. They simply leave about the what initially discussed because that nature of the project itself is completely progressive elaboration. They are not saying that within the time I need only this one. After 2 months, someone says that this feature will help, so continue your existing development. We are saying that the complete agile, but this also will helpful for the agile kind of projects.
True.
People have a mindset that MS project does not work for agile, but I 100% disagree with that. It will helpful for you if you use it properly. Maybe sometimes some areas it may not help, but 80% is really helpful for your agile project also. So you were expert on that.
Yeah.
You may say that.
I agree. I can't say 100%, but
Even I can't.
we can, but we can customize it as per agile needs.
Correct. So I'm done. So any questions? So my special thanks to Emperor. Because of this, only things happen. My continuing learning and the continuing sit with this forum past 1.5 years. I learned so many things. So special thanks to Sai and Prakash and this Prakash. I think so one more Prakash also there. So thanks so